The protests in Minneapolis and the surrounding Twin Cities area began after a federal immigration enforcement operation known as Operation Metro Surge was expanded in early January. As part of that effort, ICE agents were deployed in large numbers to carry out immigration arrests and related enforcement actions. Tensions spiked on January 7th when 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good was fatally shot by an ICE agent during an encounter in South Minneapolis, an event caught on video and widely shared. Her death became the catalyst for widespread public outrage and sustained demonstrations. In the days that followed, thousands of people turned out in Minneapolis to protest what many describe as aggressive federal tactics and the heavy ICE presence in the city. One well-attended protest drew around 1,000 people downtown, where officers reported that some demonstrators threw snow, ice, and rocks, and a police officer suffered minor injuries when struck by a piece of ice. Around 29 people were cited or arrested and later released that night for blocking traffic or related actions. Videos and witness accounts from several nights of demonstrations show chaotic scenes near the federal ICE headquarters, where protesters blasted fireworks at law enforcement and officers responded with tear gas and other crowd control measures, leading to more arrests. Beyond the protests themselves, federal enforcement under Operation Metro Surge has led to a large number of arrests in the region. According to statements from the Department of Homeland Security, federal agents have made over 3,000 arrests in Minnesota since the operation began, including nearly 150 U.S. citizens cited for assault or obstructing law enforcement. The protests have also intersected with other incidents. A separate encounter saw a Venezuelan man shot in the leg by an ICE officer during a confrontation in North Minneapolis. Both he and the agent were hospitalized, and the circumstances of that shooting have been disputed by family members. In response to rising tension over how federal agents have treated protesters and observers, a federal judge in Minnesota issued a temporary order restricting ICE and other federal immigration agents from detaining or using force against people engaged in peaceful demonstration or lawful observation unless there is reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. That order specifically limits arrests, use of tear gas or pepper spray against peaceful protesters. Politically and legally, the protests have drawn intense debate. Local and state leaders have criticized the aggressive enforcement approach and appealed for calm, while federal authorities have defended their actions and are even appealing some of the judge's restrictions. Nationally, the situation has become part of broader discussions about immigration policy, civil liberties, and how federal enforcement should be conducted in urban communities. Through all of this, the protests have continued, sometimes peaceful, sometimes confrontational, with many in Minneapolis demanding accountability for Renee Good's death, transparency around federal enforcement actions, and changes to how immigration laws are enforced on U.S. soil.